Good morning. Good Saturday morning to everyone out there. I'm Philly, and I'm coming to you live on the earliest stream I've done yet at 9 in the morning here on the East Coast. So one of the things I wanted to do, Hubs is making some noise over there. One of the things that I wanted to do was the day before Father's Day, give you an idea for a special treat for your favorite father, for maybe it's even an uncle that's special to you. Maybe it's your hubby who is a great dad for your kids, or maybe you just want a great treat, so this can be done anytime. But in our family, I have been making Dutch babies for a really long time. Andy, do you know how long I've been making Dutch babies?
15 years?
You think about 15 years? Okay. So I'm going to be doing this simple but dramatic recipe for you. It's so easy. I will say, because we look at the serving size as only a suggestion that we kind of scoff at. When we make them here at the household, when both boys are home, we make an obscene amount of Dutch babies, and we just put the calories off for the day. But they are really yummy, and it really is a showstopper to bring out for guests or even just for yourself. So thank you for joining us. If you want and enjoy this kind of content or want more content like this, please make sure and subscribe to my channel and like this video to know about the latest happenings and my streams and any changes, to know about the schedule that's going to be coming on. And I'm going to be dropping that later this weekend for my new schedule, because this is the last thing I have so far on my schedule. But I have a whole month and a half of content planned. Be sure to follow me on Twitter under Philly Live. But glad you joined us. So if you are joining us, make sure you say hi, because I love to see and chat with whoever is popping in for this. So let me get started. So the first thing I did want to mention to you and give credit for is this recipe. Whoopsie. Is from The Joy of Cooking, which is just an iconic cookbook. And I don't remember when I got this cookbook. I think, and this will date me, but meaning like once I had my job and was working, there were so many clubs for things. So I remember taking full advantage, because you got a bunch of free stuff at the beginning. So I was, back in the day, I can't remember the name of it was. If any of you are joining me of my era, if you remember what the music club was, there was a music club. That's where I got a ton of cassette tapes, because that's what we used. And, but it really helped build my music library back in that day, before it was all, digital music. And with books, I actually joined a book club where you got a ton of free books. And at that point, I was very into the horror genre of reading. And I can't remember all the authors now. Dean Koontz was one of them. Of course, Stephen King. And so I was getting a lot of those books, but I was also getting cookbooks as well. And this was one of the ones I got. And it's a great all-purpose cookbook. It has wonderful recipes. And I don't really remember how I came upon the Dutch baby recipe, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, we got to try this. And as Andy knows, being married to me for as long as we have, over 25 years, it's going to be 27?
Seriously?
28?
You don't even remember?
I don't remember my age. So is it 28 in July?
27.
27. Well, you were saying 27 the other night, but I thought you meant like we were already 27, and this is just the life we lead. Like, you forget stuff, I forget stuff, and the good thing is
But isn't it typically that the husband forgets?
No, it's the date. It's the date of the anniversary. We have the easiest date, so that's fun. It's not a problem. It's the amount of years, and frankly, I get that way with my age. And maybe it's just because I don't want to think about it, because I'd rather just enjoy life. So, but this is a great all-purpose cookbook, and I came upon the recipe, and I wanted to give it a go. So that is where the recipe is from. But the recipe is something that when we have the whole family together, that we even times it by 5. So today I'm going to be timesing it by 3 to make 3 large Dutch babies that can be enjoyed by 3 of us, which I know is not the suggestion, but it is absolutely delicious. So what I love about Dutch babies is you already have the ingredients you need. You need flour, sugar, eggs, and milk. I mean, how easy is that? And because I know milk is definitely has broadened these days. I do not know how it would cook with almond milk or oat milk, but I would say give it a try because it really just needs that liquid. So I would think it would be okay. But if you do give it a try, make sure and let me know how it goes. So I am so excited today because, as I think I've told you, my youngest son is quite the techie one, and he has helped me get started and launch my streams. And one of the things that has been bugging me is I haven't had a stove shot. So with an old phone that we had, that he also collects text. So whenever I'm like getting rid of something, I always say, do you want this? And there was an old phone that I wasn't turning in because the glass was just shattered. So I figured I'm not like going to get anything for it. And so he created this. So we have our stove scene. So finally, with my streams, when I'm cooking something on the stove, you'll be able to see, get a better shot of it. So it's not perfect, and you can see, it's a low-fat recipe. There's not at all a lot butter. In fact, I will tell you that I actually am adding a little bit less butter, and I traditionally do, than what they call for. So for each of these Dutch Baby recipes that are in the Joy of Cooking, they recommend 4 tablespoons of butter, which I love butter, but I really struggle. That just seems like a lot of butter, especially when we're considering that we're each eating one of these. So sometimes I've even done as little as 2, and it does still turn out okay. For one of these are like 10-inch pans, but then this time I cut a stick into thirds. So you can do the math on that. But anyways, I'm so excited about my stove scene. And much appreciation to my son for helping me with that. So let me get back to the camera scene. So to get started, like I said, super easy. It's just a couple ingredients. And so we are going to get started. So the first thing I like to do, just because I like to get the eggs beat, is I'm gonna be adding the eggs. So for one of these 12-inch pans of a Dutch Baby, and I feel like, you know what, I'm gonna look this up because this is what's gonna be fun. One of these recipes is recommended for, let me see here. Okay, one of these, they call it a 10-inch cake. Maybe that is a 10-inch pan. Yeah, that's right, that's a 10-inch pan. I mentioned that. See, you can see why I don't remember exactly how many years I've been married, because I can't remember what I called that pan. But anyways, so for a 10-inch pan, for one of those, they recommend 2 to 4 servings. So we take that as only a suggestion, and we look at it not only as 1 serving, but there are some males in my family that actually have 2 of those. So in any event, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to do the eggs. I think with making the batter, you want it to be smooth. So I'm going to get the eggs beat first before I add the remaining ingredients. Can you open up the trash can there? In fact, I'm just going to do this over, well, I can't because then I'll be off camera. How about that? I'll do this over here, get these eggs done so I can throw them right in the trash, and you can tell me why.
You were looking at me when you said we like 2 of them.
I was. Oh,
that's true, actually.
But you can tell me why this is always what you request Father's Day weekend.
Because it tastes really good.
And how do you like your Dutch Babies?
I like them very simple. So I just like it with syrup, pure and simple.
Just syrup. And did you see the syrup that we're going to be using? Do you remember where we got that syrup?
I don't.
Where we went with Matt right before.
Oh, this is up in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah. So we haven't had this yet, so I'm very excited to try that.
That's good.
I thought it was a good time to break it out.
Now, and these things they're just, unfortunately, they're really easy to eat. They're soft and sweet.
And buttery and rich. They're almost like a custard that becomes a pancake.
Yeah, they're pretty great, actually. Let me put this away.
Put that back in the fridge, thanks. And I will say, so I just cracked 6 eggs because, again, we are tripling the recipe. A single one calls for 2 eggs. So if you're making it at home. Oh, hello. Hi, Dad. Nice to see you. Happy Father's Day early. I wish you were here and could have one of these. This is going to be like almost cruel to show you this. Sorry about that.
Good morning.
We will be thinking about you, though.
You just sprayed me with egg.
Oh, You're fine. So we are in our very casual clothes because we are going to do our new obsession. After this, we're going to burn off these buttery calories playing watch that, playing pickleball. So we are going to do that. And it's a delightful day here in Philly. It was very warm in the 90s and humid yesterday. And now the high today, I think, is supposed to be 70 or something.
70,
Gorgeous.
75.
No, check it again.
I did.
And they changed.
74.
It was going to be 70, and then tomorrow's going to be 72.
74.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyhow, it's going to be nice. So we're going to go do that.
So you should ask your father if he remembers
You can
how
ask
long
him.
he's been married.
Well, Dad, we have a question for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better. You should.
So happy Father's Day, Mom.
You should ask. So, God, how long have you guys been married?
Actually, I think she should ask Dad.
Because your daughter didn't remember how long we've been married.
I think you're throwing me under the bus early today.
I am throwing you.
So I'm going to start adding the sugar and the flour. One of the things I do, by the way, is I do the eggs, I add the sugar and the flour, and it makes this thick kind of paste, and I add a little bit of milk because, again, I want it to be smooth, especially when you're making a bigger batch of these. It's important to you know, just, you don't want to go too hasty with the liquids or then you're just going to get lumps, which isn't going to be good at all. All right, so I'm going to be adding, for a single recipe, it's a 1/4 cup sugar, so I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup sugar, and I'm using a 1/4 cup measure because, you know, these are those things that don't allow big cup measures in there. So 1, 2, 3, so we have 3/4 cups because I tripled the recipe. And then I'm going to be adding 1.5 cups flour. So take this fella out. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to get that going. Get that sugar in. So they just say mix them all together, but I just find it's easier with not having these loads of solids in here. All right. And I have 1/2 cup measures. Oh, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do 1/4 cup measures. Okay, so since I'd be doing 3 of these, I'm going to need to do 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we've got our dry ingredients in there, and I'm just going to carefully, without getting flour on me, get that whisked together. So I'm just whisking that, you can see, letting it come together, and then I'll be adding the milk. So again, I want this to be smooth. Whoopsie. All right. There we go. And I found this method to be helpful. So now it's mostly together, and then I'm just going to slowly add some milk to it. Add my liquids, and it's 1.5 cups milk. So for a single recipe, just to review, it is 1/2 cup milk, 1/2 cup flour, 1/4 cup sugar, and 2 eggs. But I'm tripling it, so I have here 1.5 cups milk. All right. So these have been a beloved treat at our household for many a year, and we don't just, well, anymore, we just do them on Father's Day. Oh, 59 years this August. That is awesome. Hats off to that. A great role model for us. So we, when the kids were growing up, we enjoyed these definitely a few times a year. And I'm pretty sure I use this to probably, you know, get the kids to do things. I'll make you touch babies. If you clean your room, or if you shovel the driveway, or help dab with the leaves when we were living in the suburbs. All right. So what's happening here is, since I did it in this order and add the liquid last, I have a very smooth batter, which is nice. And again, I didn't find this the very first time I made them. I didn't obviously triple or do anything. I made just the regular recipe, and I feel like it's just not as big a deal when you're making one, but when you're making a bunch, it really helps to kind of do it in this fashion. So now I have a very smooth batter. It's thinner than a pancake batter, just in case you're noticing the difference. And, you know, again, these are called Dutch babies, which is like a puffed pancake. But I will say, when Andy and I talk about them, I feel like they're more custardy, like they just, and they really are a showstopper. But I will tell you that the showstopper part is done in a second. So if you're doing this for guests, you want to make sure as soon as you bring out of the oven, you bring it right away to show them. So anyway, so I'm going to get these now going. So after this is mixed, you get your pans heated up, or if you just have one pan, I have many. So you get these all going. Go. And I would say, as far as the temperature, it's about medium heat. You just so there's not a lot. Oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna switch us up over here to my new. So you just what your goal is you want to get the butter melted in the pan hot, and then you're going to be putting in the batter and letting it cook for just a minute before you pop it in the oven. What happens is it helps get the bottom set a bit before you put it in the oven heat, and you get the rest of the pancake puffing up and growing around the pan. I can see that my one burner is, it's so funny, you know, the burners and how they heat up differently, and it always makes me guessing as a cook. All right. Because my burners are a little wonky, once I put it in, I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I don't want it to burn, but you just want it to set. But I'm pretty sure they say medium heat on there. But you want that butter all melted and frothy. I'm going to bring this over so it's ready to go. There we go. And I'm going to divvy this up into 3 pans. So you do want to swirl it because that way it gets it all over. And this pan is seeming a little hot, so I'm going to turn this one down. There we go. All right, so let's get this game going. And again, you're just going to be cooking them for a minute. I can feel that heat. So I'm just going to cook them for a minute. And we're going to pop those in the oven. You can see that this pan is definitely hotter over here. And this one, oh, I turned the wrong pan down. I see what I did. Put this back over there. You usually don't have to do this kind of juggling. This one looks ready to go in. You can see it's starting to firm up. I'm going to get this in the oven. And I'm going to be fitting all of these in. I don't really remember how I do it. So I'm going to get all these in. This one looks ready to go in. Get that in. It's a 425 degree oven. I'll get my burners turned off. And that one looks ready to come in. Okay, so we're going to get these in. There we go. They fit. 3 10-inch pans in the oven. That is good news. All right. So once they're in, they're going to cook for 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to put my timer on so I don't forget. And what you're going to see, and I'll keep this over here so that you can see once we take them out. What you're going to see is they're going to be that beautiful, they're going to rise up on the sides and be this beautiful puffed goodness. Now I will say, as Andy mentioned, he likes to have it very simple, just with some, obviously you don't need butter because there's so much butter already there. We sprinkle it with some powdered sugar. So I have my powdered sugar ready. Oh, I don't have much powdered sugar. Wasn't that interesting? I'm going to need to fill that up. And syrup. So I love fruit and pancakes. Like that to me is a really good marriage. So what I like to do is I like to make a homemade blueberry syrup. This is not complicated, super easy. All you do is I have some, and you can do with fresh blueberries, but I find that frozen work better. So I have some frozen blueberries. It's best when they're Jersey blueberries, but the Jersey blueberries aren't ready yet. So, but that's the best. And then you just, so when they're frozen, I think what I like about how the syrup comes out is because there's something, you know, when you freeze a fruit, the skin kind of softens. So I feel like the berries give up their juice more readily. And then all I do is I literally just put some syrup to cover it. And when I say covered, I don't mean covered. I just lit it because you can see the syrup is not above the blueberries. I like a very blueberry syrup. I want it to be more fruit forward. So it maybe is coming up halfway to the berries. I just coated them. And then I put that in the microwave for about a minute. And you have to watch because, you know, syrup can definitely boil over. Oh, it smells so good. And then that's my blueberry syrup. And really you could do that with any fruit as you just, because the syrup then, you know, starts to boil and then it helps just heat up and cook the blueberries. And since they're frozen, the blueberries still keep their shape, but because of the skins and what happens when they're in the freezer, they give up more of their flavor. I don't even know how it works, but it just seems to, I find, work better. So I'm just keeping my eye on that. I'm gonna get more sugar in there because we definitely like it to look pretty in this place. And traditionally, that is what I do. I always add powdered sugar. Let me just take a peek at my syrup. My syrup is fine. It's starting to bubble though. And of course, oh my goodness. Starting to bubble. And of course my syrup is, or my powdered sugar is way in the back because that's just how things roll. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Can you help?
No, I'm fine. It was just silly. I think that minute really does the trick for that amount of blueberries. Okay, I thought I had one open, but apparently I don't. So maybe we used it all the last time. But so we have some confectioner's sugar. You see how my syrup looks? Ah, it needs a little bit more. Get a little bit more. Hello. You see how my things are doing? Ooh, they look good. They look good. Starting to puff up. All right, let me get that in. I do like, oh, there it is. That looks better. Okay, so it's bubbling all over. Bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. So maybe it bubbles, and now I'm gonna stop it. Maybe it bubbles for like 20 seconds at a really high bubble, and then it's nice. Okay, so let me get some more confectioner's sugar. This is one of my, I have many great and favorite tools. This one, obviously, I don't use very much, but what's nice is it's a sifter, and we just keep confectioner's sugar in there all the time. And what's nice is sometimes, you know, whether it's a dessert or a Dutch baby, it's just nice to be able to sprinkle some confectioner's sugar on top. Now, sometimes what happens is this one might get done pretty easy. You know that I cook convection, and I'm at a loss with the Dutch babies, like when it should be convection and not, because I feel like they turn out a little differently. But the nice thing about convection is it keeps even heat. But in my oven, since I'm using all or both racks, I feel like the ones in the top get done a little sooner. So I do need to keep a watch over it, because right now it's saying 7 minutes, and I know that one is going to be done way ahead of 7 minutes. So as a cook, trust your gut. When it looks done, it is. I'm going to get this confectioner's sugar in there. You might want to let the boy know that it's going to be done soon.
I think the boy just heard.
Okay. It's amazing how well he hears when it has to do with food, isn't it, sweetie?
Yes.
Yeah. Like in our household, when you'd say chocolate, you'd hear from the boys, "What? Chocolate? There's chocolate in the house?" Right? Right, darling? But if you said chores, they'd go missing. And you said, "Set the table, wash the dishes," missing. Oh, these are looking nice. And Matt has been charged with giving me a really good picture.
They smell really good.
They do smell good, but it is making the kitchen hot. And you know how I am when things get warm. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What's that?
The camera.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot I have still the camera on. See, this is where I'm so sorry, friends.
That's what I was wondering.
I know. Okay. Yeah, because you know what? I'm not gonna worry about the stove shot. You should shake your head at me, Matt, because I totally forgot. Okay. You can move it. Okay. So let's see how we're doing. I'm afraid this one's gonna get done pretty quick. Yeah, this one is getting done pretty quick.
Who gets the first one?
Well, actually, I'm gonna give you a really pretty one, so I'm gonna give Maddie the first one.
You get the other one, Matt.
Yeah, they're getting done on the early side. This one's definitely ready. This is not the showstopper one. It is done. So you'll know it's done because you see how puffy it got there. But see how the top got really brown, and that's not a bad thing. But I definitely is not what I wanted. So I'm going to put my sugar on it.
See, I like when it's a little bit brown and like crusty like that.
You do. You kind of like things crusty.
I'm a crusty old man.
Let me show a picture. See that? It already lost its poof. So you're going to help me with the next one, getting the poof, okay?
No.
Darling. All right, so I'm gonna get and then all you do is you shimmy it onto a plate.
I don't know if I'm going to get this picture off in the amount of time.
I think you will. You just have to stay here. I'm gonna let these cool over here. This is hot over here, friends, so make sure you guys don't. And then you've got it on your plate. Here's the first one. And do you want to get your syrup put on it?
I thought that was his.
Well, he's gonna need to take a picture. And you like the brown crusty. This is more brown crusty.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give that to you. Okay, Matt, I have one ready for you. You ready? I just gotta do that. You can take a couple pictures. You can take it while I'm putting the sugar on if you want, okay?
Where?
This is a beauty. See? Look how puffed. Picture. There you go.
This is not a great angle. Put it over.
Do it again.
Honey, it's going down just... There you go. You got it. You're in the kitchen.
Very
Perfect.
nice.
Thank you, babe. You want to get side view? We'll get side view with the next one. And this one is going to be mine. I'm going to give Maddie the last one. Whoops.
I'm just going to take a bite.
Oh, I thought we were going to take a bite together.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to let these cool.
I'm going to take a bite.
Now one more. You get to turn off the hot oven.
Oh.
Ready, Maddie? Oh, that one was the prettiest. The second one was the prettiest.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, that one, second one was the prettiest.
One of my favorite
See?
things. They're so good.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring mine over because this is Maddie's because I want the blueberry. So I want to show everyone how that works. Whoopsie. Okay, so now the blueberry syrup. We're gonna turn this off. So please, my recommendation be to watch. Can you scooch over a little bit? To watch the what? To watch the oven, because trust your gut, when it looks done, it is done.
You can see how
I'm gonna get this
kind of moves around. It's so easy to cut. You don't
There's
need a
a fork.
knife. It just cuts with a fork.
If you want more. Here, but
Awesome.
I see they're waiting for their mama, which is so kind.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Just teasing you. Okay. See, I'm putting some of these yummy blueberries.
I really think you should get one of that.
Let me get one with this. Okay. I want to get a little. Can you give me? Can you bring your camera,
I have it.
Matt?
I have it.
There you go. Matt's gonna get the right there. Okay. Can we just do it here? Okay. No, I like this counter. Oh my goodness. So just want to take a picture right here. There we go. There we go. Awesome. All right. Let's try. Where's yours, babe? So this is the blueberry one. You see why? That's why I like the fruit. So how are they?
Ready?
Yeah. How are they?
Oh, good eats in Philadelphia.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, it is so good. You got to try it. It is delicious.
Awesome.
I highly recommend the blueberry syrup one. So easy and so much more flavor.
So good.
Mmm.
I highly recommend just
Oh my
syrup.
gosh. And if you just like syrup, absolutely. But like apples would be good on this. Peaches. I mean, whipped cream would be. Oh, the boys. Do you want to tell how I used to eat them growing
Oh,
up?
we used to put chocolate syrup on them.
They used to put Hershey's chocolate syrup on it. And that's how they ate them. It was so funny. This is so good though. You've got to try this recipe. And if you do, make sure you come back and let me know on the video if you tried it in the comments. I do respond to comments. So delicious.
So good.
So wishing happy Father's Day
Thank you.
to you,
Thank you.
to my dad, and to all the dads out there. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And I know you'll be watching golf.
And for the year to come.
And for the year to come, usually get your golf in,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
to watch the golf. So,
Stay open.
but highly recommend. You'll make Papa's happy fixing him this. So easy. And but watch in the oven in case it gets done, because all of our ovens, I think, are, some are warmer than others. And for this week, we are not doing a cocktail stream this week. We are trying a Philly takeout place, and it's a ramen place. So I will be posting that on Monday, where we're going to be doing our takeout. Because as you know, that's a new thing I'm doing now, is we're trying takeout in the city, and just giving it our honest 2 cents. So we are foodies. We love our food. We love Philly food. So hoping to promote some places and let you all know about the good eats here in the city. So, and then next weekend we have already been doing our work investigating some of the viral TikTok ramen recipes. And I even looking through all of them, some of them look like duds, or I hear that they're not that great, but we have found some really good ones. So we are going to be doing that next weekend on our stream. So please make sure, and I'm going to be dropping my new schedule that has all this information on Sunday. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Father's Day, and thank you for joining us. And
thank you, Good Eats.
Thank you,
Looking
Good
forward to
Eats. Yeah. And until we eat again, cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great weekend.